And that's all she wrote. On September 1st, 2025, at 1 a.m. CST, the Canadian channel YTV aired their final 2 episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants, following the news of their parent company, Chorus Entertainment, losing their rights to air any and all Nickelodeon programming. They still have rights to air Nick's movies. Sponge Out of Water is airing this Saturday as of when I'm writing this, but as for the show itself, that's it. The last episodes that aired are Season 11's The Krusty Bucket, Squids on a Bus, Squirrel Jelly, and The String. With this alongside the closure of Nick Canada, Disney Junior, Disney XD, and all of WildBrain's channels, and even Nelvana shutting down, this is truly a sad day for Canadian children everywhere. Or at least those without access to streaming. Before I elaborate any further, let me start off with a backstory. To any of you non-Canadians who don't know what the hell I'm talking about, YTV is a Canadian channel that launched in 1988, offering programming aimed at an audience ranging from children to young teenagers. The channel has changed owners a few times since its launch until landing under Chorus Entertainment in 1999, where they have continued running the channel to this day. As for my experiences with the channel, it's mainly tied to the first time I remember watching satellite TV around 2006. My 3-year-old brain could barely even comprehend this magical device that I was able to view anything I want on it, but I loved it nonetheless. I was mainly watching content from Treehouse TV, PBS Kids, Teletoon, and of course YTV, which by far is the channel I watched the most as a kid. I mainly watched this channel from 2006 to 2018. It was on that year when I moved to my first house where we didn't have satellite TV. Streaming was becoming more rampant, and also I was turning 15. I'm still a fan of cartoons, yet I didn't feel the need to keep that channel or cable in general anymore, though occasionally I'd pop back in whenever I'm in a place with cable TV. In my early history with the channel though, it was everything I've ever dreamed. I watched Canadian cartoons like Being Ian, Captain Flamingo, Kid vs. Cat, League of Super Evil, and Sidekick, as well as a few anime imports such as Pokemon, Naruto, and Beyblade, and most importantly, the Nickelodeon shows. YTV was the premier place for all Nick content. I was watching shows like iCarly, Penguins of Madagascar, Fairly OddParents, and especially SpongeBob all the time when I was actively watching the channel. What also makes YTV special is the presentation. In between all the shows and the wide variety of family movies airing on the channel, there were all these promos and bumpers that were very creative and cheesy.
Meet your friends of the future. There's Bender, Zoidberg, and Leela.
No one makes fun of my nose.
No, the nose is fine. What could possibly beat back-to-back episodes, a full hour of these great shows?
I drawed a horsey.
Okay. In a blind taste test, comedy lovers preferred the taste of iCarly comedy over other shows that taste like this. Don't say we didn't warn you.
Patrick Starfish, you can win a prize if you fill in this blank. Blank SquarePants.
Oh.
Okay, this is him peeking around the door. Just fill in the blank.
Oh.
Here are 3 people saying the answer.
SpongeBob!
SpongeBob. No. And now we're physically sending him through the phone into your head. Say hello one more time and I'll give you the prize. Oh.
It's still kind of crazy to me that the announcer is still voicing these promos to this day, though current YTV promos have toned back a little on wackiness. They would usually air their shows under a few programming blocks, most notably The Zone, hosted by Carlos Bustamante. I'm sorry if I pronounced that name wrong. God, I miss this host. He's part of Entertainment Tonight these days, but when he was a part of YTV, it was like we were hanging out and watching cartoons with him every weekday. They switched to different hosts after he left, but to my knowledge, they suddenly stopped doing them after a few years. I wonder why. I could keep going about my general YTV memories, but we gotta keep this focused on SpongeBob here. They treated this show like it was head of the class, man. This channel was the birthplace of my love for SpongeBob, and I imagine a bunch of other people my age feel the same way. Hell, it was one of the few shows that YTV gave the special treatment, with first-time premieres and marathons galore. A good chunk of episodes actually premiered in Canada first before the US. Frankendoodle, Graveyard Shift, Midlife Crustacean, I Had an Accident, the camping episode. We Canadians actually saw these episodes firsthand. either by around a couple weeks or by a whole year. It's likely a result of Nick's scheduling conflicts, but still, it's neat to know that we saw SpongeBob's twisted take on social media before the Americans did. As for marathons, the one I'm the most familiar with is SpongeBob Square Parents Day, which happened every May from 2003 to 2012. It's very special to me because my birthday falls on the 19th of that month, so catching these marathons felt like an extra birthday gift. Watching both SpongeBob and Fairly OddParents all day was monumental to me as a kid. The 2010 marathon was the absolute best, hands down. Despite the mixed quality of the actual episodes, the quantity is staggering, and seeing Atlanta Square Pandas and Wishology back to back felt like having two cakes. Let me have this.
Attention, important announcement from YTV. We're never showing SpongeBob or Fairly OddParents again.
Boy, that's ironic as shit, isn't it? What's even cooler is that for 2013's edition of the marathon, the final one of these overall, they featured exclusively musical episodes, and even added lyrics to all the songs they featured on screen, changing the name to Fairly Song Pants Day. I mean, the lineup is much more heavy on SpongeBob than Fop, but actually knowing the lyrics to these catchy songs and singing along to them was the happiest I've ever been in my life. Well, aside from, I wish these versions of the episodes were actually found and easily accessible. All we have is Schools Out the Musical and that's it. I know it's just the episodes verbatim with the only difference being karaoke lyrics on screen, but damn it, I still want them found, okay? One fact everyone knows about SpongeBob on YTV is that the episode Just One Bite is always aired completely uncut. The Squidward gas scene, which only showed up in its first airing in the US and is never on any of the DVD releases featuring said episode, instead having this lame-ass transition to the inside, is always in the episode over here. To me, Just One Bite ain't Just One Bite without Squidward exploding twice. There's no denying that SpongeBob helped shape YTV's identity. If that show wasn't here, I doubt their other programming would be as fondly remembered as they are today. People came for SpongeBob, they stayed for Prank Patrol. This show was YTV's backbone for over 20 years, and it kept on chugging along. But then the 2020s hit. In 2022, most of the show's content has suddenly been phased out in reruns, only featuring Season 3 and everything from Season 10 onwards. Losing 2/3 of the Golden Age and even Seasons 4 and 5 are pretty rough, but hey, at least we have the new stuff, which is pretty good. Okay, I guess we're calling it bad now. Oh, now it's good again. That's pretty deep. My lord, make up your goddamn minds! Despite 60% of the show being removed from circulation, at least the show is still here. It's not like they're gonna remove the show entirely or anything. You know where I'm going with this. On August 18th, 2025, Chorus Entertainment announced that they're phasing out all Nickelodeon content after August 31st, not only shutting down Nick Canada on that day, but also removing SpongeBob, the show's spin-offs, The Loud House, and Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from YTV reruns. The same thing happened to Treehouse, in which their channel was the premier home for Nick Jr. content. But now, just like YTV, not anymore. In the case of YTV, when they recently started airing Teen Titans Go and The Amazing World of Gumball beginning in June, I assume it was probably done to test the waters on what could replace SpongeBob and Loud House. And yep, turns out it was completely true. They stated it isn't financially viable, and that statement is very common for most other Canadian kids channels recently closing or removing content, but this is SpongeBob we're talking about here. The biggest cartoon on the planet, and arguably still as popular today as it was over 1 or even 2 decades ago. You're replacing SpongeBob with this? I know the show is also very popular and has its fans. Hell, I haven't seen the show, so I don't even have a say on how good it is, but this feels like a cruel gag.
I'm afraid you don't work here anymore.
Please tell me this isn't a joke.
Go on, Mr. Krabs. Tell him. Tell him all about your cruel, sick joke.
As much as I love cruel, sick jokes, I'm afraid he's not joking.
Obviously, I'm getting a bit worked up over this, especially considering you can still watch the show on other places like Physical Media and Paramount Plus. But for people who don't like streaming and instead went with a considerably more expensive cable package, or people who just somehow don't have internet but keep their cable boxes, this is a huge blow to the nads. The show itself is still widely available everywhere, there's no denying that. But there's something about watching a show with the commercial breaks, the bumpers, the extra pizzazz that the channel you're watching on offers. It's always fun, and partly the reason why I bookmark a lot of television broadcasts from the Internet Archive. Side note, I pray that more recordings of the Canadian channel surface. I desperately want to relive the memories. Losing a part of that experience is becoming more and more common with each passing year, and every time a certain region's version of a huge channel dies off, it always sucks. And 2025 has been filled with channel after channel just suddenly saying goodbye. With the removal of SpongeBob, who's to say that YTV could enter the same fate too? Now I know what some of you are gonna say. Oh, but it has Teen Titans Go and Gumball, and they're gonna be airing the Gumball revival soon so they can simultaneously stream it to their internet TV service Stack TV. Bitch.
There's nothing. Thank you, son.
Even if people come for those shows like they did with The Sponge, what else does YTV have these days? Pinata Smashlings? Best and Bester? Care Bears Unlock the Magic? 3 Amigo Nuts? The Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs cartoon? Fuck, they're still airing Scaredy Squirrel? Even if they still have Pokemon, the current state of YTV is looking dire at this point. It's gonna be the same 15 or so shows, mostly mixed in terms of quality, on repeats, with the occasional movie in between, and that's it. You could say the same thing about YTV back in the day, but that's just not true. There was a better volume and variety of content for kids on the channel back then. And once again, at least they had SpongeBob on their side. They're all reliable. But now the show is just poof, gone. All they have are the movies that air on occasion, and that's it. Without SpongeBob, I predict YTV only has another year left before truly pulling the plug, and I am still dreading for that day to eventually come. I lost a Canadian Kids channel once, I can't lose another. YTV was a channel that meant the world to me, but now it's significantly shrunken its programming and has thrown away its biggest cartoon on the channel, acquired or otherwise. At least the narrator is still doing work to this day, but when he leaves, that's when I'm leaving. SpongeBob SquarePants on YTV has lasted a grand total of 9,480 days, from September 18th, 1999 to September 1st, 2025. And how ironic is it that the final episode to air on the channel is the one where SpongeBob unravels the whole universe. Finally, you can consider this to be a SpongeBob series finale now. Beautiful. While Teen Titans Go isn't the greatest of replacements, this, Gumball, and Pokemon are all YTV has left to stay afloat. They can't even hold a candle to the Bob, but it's worth a try. Farewell, SpongeBob on YTV. You helped introduce me and so many other 2000s kids to one of the best children's cartoons ever made. And while the channel's future is mostly pretty foggy, it was a fun ride while it lasted. So long, partner. God, that's cringe as fuck. Also, Rick and Morty Season 8 is next, don't even ask.